Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, I need to just admit to it that I was totally wrong about credit repair. Like, I had this, this idea in my mind about what credit repair was all about. I had it like just, hey, you do this for people and it's gonna really transform them. And I must admit that I was wrong about it. And what has made me really come to the realization is listening to the conversations to people who have been able to use our services to repair their credit, but also they transform their lives. That was the part that I was wrong about, is that I didn't really understand it. And there were certain things that I had put into place when I started reworking my customer service team. I was like, to make sure that we don't miss any calls, we're going to have all the calls route into one number. Even though they could call any of my customer service reps, it routes into one number, and then we distribute those out to the customer service team or to whoever we're going to assign to call people back. And in that way, we were also able to be more prepared to speak to the client. And then also the reps would not get interrupted. They could spend, dedicated quality time with the customer on the phone, which that right there I thought was transformative because people were getting the time that they deserved. But what really took it over the top about the transformative nature of our credit repair services is when I combined this book right here and these 4 free informational bonuses that I put with it. We've done it so for a long period of time to where I started to see the results of what having this in people's hands has done for them, because this was the deal. Here's the deal. None of us were taught about credit, or the majority of us. Some people had parents that took care of their credit, taught them from day one. But the majority of us did not either learn about credit and debt, or we learned about it later the hard way. When I combined our services with giving this book here that I normally sell for $59.95, at one time we were doing it when people signed up, and it was $11.95 activation, and we ended up taking that away to where if a person signs up and they get all of their information in, they don't pay anything to sign up, they put their information in. I was giving this as an incentive, as a bonus. But it has really what it's done. It's done what I call the 2 + 2 = 4 method. That means that when I say 2 + 2 = 4 method, a lot of times we go through life knowing what the end result that we want, and we have half of the equation to get to the end result that we want, and we try to plug in things to try to get to that end result, and we always say something is missing. Like something is missing. And what I believe this here does, what this does, is it lays a foundation. It lays a foundation for anyone who was not educated about how credit and debt works. Let me tell you something that we always refer to, and this is incredible when you hear this. It's on page, let's see here. I'm going to get to that page. When you hear this, you're going to be like, this is unbelievable. So, okay, now, how is your credit score actually figured? because we had people who were doing the right thing, and they were like, my scores are in the tank. What's going on? I'm thinking that I'm doing the right thing. So let me just enlighten you on this, and we tell people to go to page 7 when you get this. Like, immediately go to page 7, because this is going to answer your question and give you the other side of that equation that is missing when it comes to laying the foundation, number one, for your credit score, and then for the rest of it is just going to be even just filling in all of the gaps that you've probably wondered about credit and debt. So now, for the FICO score, did you know that the payment history and your public records history counts for up to 35% of your score? That means that of the total of the top score of 850 for one of the bureaus, they one now has it at 900, but it's the representation is still about the same. Is that 297.5 points of you being able to get to that highest score is going to be based on your payment history and your public records history. So that means that if you're doing everything right and you messed up on one or two payments, or you have a public records entry such as a tax lien or bankruptcy entered into your public records, you cannot maximize the points that you would get from there. Hear me, I'll say that again. You cannot maximize the points that you could get from there. That means that you could get new accounts and treat them the right way. You can open up unsecured accounts. You could keep them at 30%, and you still will not be able to maximize the score potential simply because of the payment history and your public records. Now, the next one here, outstanding amounts of debt owed. 30% or 255 points. So think about it. Just like I used in the other example, if you are messed up with the amounts that you owe when it's being reported, you cannot maximize the available points for outstanding amounts of debt owed. It's 30% or 255 points. So now, 255 points, if you maximize them, 255 points, and then we got 297.5 points. We're at 525 credit score right now. So now let's move on to the next one. We got length of account credit history. It counts for 15% or 127.5 points. So now if we maximize it, 127.5, and we have 255, and we have 297.5. We're at a credit score of 680. But before I move forward, if you're, and this frustrates a lot of people, they'll be like, I'm paying on my credit, I'm doing all of the other stuff right, I don't have any negative, I don't have any missed payments, I don't have any issues with outstanding debt amounts, and then but I'm still at a 680. Why can't I get over 700? Because you can't even do you can't maximize. You're not even able to maximize with the length of credit history. That means that how long have you had an account? So you can get a maximum of 127.5 points, but if you're doing everything else right that I'm going to mention in a second, the other ones, it could still hold you back because the other two are worth 85 points each. So you can see how this whole thing, this whole credit game can work. So the next one is you're pursuing and obtaining of new credit, 10% or 85 more points. So if you add on 85 more points, but let's just say that you have new credit history and you're doing good with that, but they haven't been there for a long period of time. So that is where that frustration comes about, because you can't maximize the amount of points that you can gain from there. And so you have to, but when you understand and you have that foundation, it'll stop the frustration and you'll know what you're working at. Now, the next one is the type of credit currently in use, 10% or 85 more points that you can be able to get. So now that you have this foundation, you know that the types of credit in use counts for 85 points. Pursuing and obtaining new credit, the credit that you obtain, another 85 points. And then you have the length of time that you have credit, 127.5 points. And then you had the outstanding debt amounts, that's 255 points. And then you had a payment history and public records, 297 points that you would have. So understanding that will give you the foundation that you need on how you need to manage your credit. Now, there's a whole bunch of other things that you need to do on a day-to-day basis to make sure that you're maintaining your credit, that you're lowering your debt, that you're doing everything right so you can get to that optimal score. Now, there are a lot of people that are out there that'll be like, I don't care about my score. I don't care about this and all that. I pay cash for everything. I would like to share a story with you. My youngest daughter was going to performing arts school, and my wife and I took her there. We were looking at all the different places that she could stay, either on campus, and looking at some of the other outside condo apartment type places. You know, and there was one that we felt very comfortable with because she was new to being out of the home. She was only 17 years old at the time. And we wanted to make sure that she was safe, just like you would want for your child. And we went to this condo, a 1-bedroom studio, and gated. Very nice place. And she liked it. And we told them, hey, they told us how much it was. It was $1,500 a month. And we said, okay, that's pretty reasonable. And she likes it. We feel that it's very safe, not far from the school. And we said, okay, that's fine. We would just, rather than paying monthly, we would just pay, in groups for each semester. And it was like, that's fine. That's fine. But they said, we still have to check your credit. It doesn't matter. You could pay us for, they didn't say it that way, but the way I felt was like, you could pay us for the whole time she's going to be in school, and it won't matter. We have to check your credit. So with that story that I'm sharing with you, if I did not have my credit taken care of, my daughter would have missed out on the opportunity to stay in a place that we felt were safe. She was going to be far away from home, and we wanted to make sure that she was going to be safe. So it does matter. Don't let anyone fool you that your credit does not matter. There's a lot of people that'll say stuff like that. And my thought process is they must just want to live with bad credit. Like they just want to live with bad credit. Also, if you ever get anything utilizing your credit, you're going to pay more for the same things that people with good credit pay less for. If you pay more for the things that people pay less for with good credit, that takes money out of your pocket. That money that would stay in your pocket can go for savings. It can go for an investment. It can go to just have money in your pocket instead of being broke all the time. So don't be fooled when people tell you that having good credit and having a high credit score is not important. I give my testimony on it, and the thousands of people that we've helped with their credit would give their testimony on it. And I believe that you actually know that that's true, because look at the things that you probably have right now. If you have bad credit right now, and you could just refinance everything because you have good credit, how much money would you save if they just lowered the interest rates 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points? That's how you should be thinking. So a lot of people don't want to start with credit and to start doing things. They have this resistance, this inner resistance. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. It's going to be too much. I don't know what's going to happen in the end. Here's something that I want to tell you that I'm personally doing. because it's not really about credit repair. It's about us to let ourselves go, to stop resisting what we know, what we know we want, and how we want our lives to be. Here, I want to talk. You see this? This is a bottle of water. This is crazy, but it has everything to do with just being resistant, just to be resistant. I have a goal to drink like really 4 bottles of these every day. I'm on I think I'm on number 3 right now. If I don't remember what number I'm on, I'll be drinking. Like if I don't remember how many I drank, I'm gonna drink. I'm on number 3 because I had one after my workout, or during and after my workout, one already when I came into the office, and I'm working on number 3. But here's the thing. What I did is I said, if I got to drink this, I'll bring, in the office, I brought 2 up. I got one, I just finished that one in the trash can. I set up the circumstances for me to be able to have success with drinking enough water, drinking the water with my goal of drinking 4 bottles of the water. Having something like this sets up the circumstances to lower your resistance. Because a lot of the resistance that you have right now with wanting to work on your credit, if you're not working on it, and if you are working on your credit, I would say keep working on, if we're working on it, or whoever is working on it, if you're even working on it, what I want you to do is you need to work on yourself. Reading stuff like this is a way to work on yourself, to allow yourself to not be resistant, because nothing in life that is worth it is going to be easy. I wish it was. I'm not going to be one of the ones that tell you that. Everything that I got in life, I had to work very hard to get it. But when I work very hard to get it, it seems like it's easy. I've had people tell me, they were like, Steve, you do stuff and it seems so easy for you. That's because I worked hard, got it, did it, went through the frustration, kept working through it, didn't think that stuff had to happen the next day. And then once it happened, And then I look back and I'm like, I know how to do it, or I'm glad I made it through it. If I hired someone to do something for me, I'm like, they did it. But no matter what, I want to talk to y'all about so much, but because I got so many stories about things that I got to do on a daily basis. But just like with the customer service system that we had set up for the credit repair shop, let me just say that one for you. Because if you're going to work with us with credit, you really only care about how we're going to manage your stuff. We had to put thousands of customers from one system to another, and we took the time to do that. My staff, they were working overtime. I was paying them overtime because I wanted to make it easier for our clients to be able to know what's going on through their credit repair journey. But I had a lot of resistance during that. So what did I do? Yeah, the software company and my employees, they did the work, but I was going through this mental friction, this resistance of, should we even do that? Because we're going to go through hell with people while we're in the transition. And it was going to take a good period of time. It took almost 4 months to do that full transition. But what I did is I worked on myself. I said, this is what needs to be done. It's not going to be done overnight. It's going to be stuff that's going to frustrate me. It's going to be stuff that frustrates my customer service staff. But we got to do it. And we just kept the goal in mind, which were you, if you're a client of ours, which was focus. If you get frustrated, think about the clients. If you get frustrated, think about the clients. So for yourself, if you're trying to work on your credit, think about the end result and then keep working and get that McDonald's quick fix, quick order today, get it today, tomorrow, get that out of your mind. Get it out of your mind, because that leads to just more frustration. Work on yourself. If you sign up with us, you get this, you work on yourself. You do it yourself or whatever, watch my videos. I really appreciate that, because I talk about it a lot in my videos. Had a young man today call me and was just like, thank you for the videos that you got and comments and everything. So work on yourself. If you allow us to work on your credit, if we're working on it, work on yourself. Use this to work on yourself. We work on your credit. The 2 plus 2, the 2 that I mentioned earlier, 2 plus 2 equals 4. The first 2 is you. The second 2 is us. And the 4 is the end result. That's when you had a full equation. The first 2 is you. Work on you. Because think about it. When your credit is repaired, when you're where you want to be, guess what? You have to be a new person that's going to know how to keep, maintain, understand what it takes, do what has to be done to keep that credit. That's why it's important. Think about it. If you work on yourself now while you're going through the credit repair process and you get to that end result, when you get to that end result, let me rephrase that. When you get to that end result, you will be transformed, your credit will be transformed, and you will know how to continue with that. Thank you for your time. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website the3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian credit reports on all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you early in the game, grab my 3-pack of letters, statute of limitations, debt validation, and cease and desist collection activities letter. Thank you for your time. Subscribe to the channel. Post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.